In a quaint, sun-drenched village nestled amidst rolling fields, lived a farmer named Raghu. His life was a testament to unwavering devotion, yet it was also a canvas of relentless struggle. Each morning, as the first rays of light touched the earth, Raghu would stand before his small shrine, hands folded in prayer. "Oh, Lord," he would whisper, "please bless my crops, keep my family healthy, and spare me from hardship. I have tilled the soil with my own hands, but the heavens must provide." Raghu's faith, though deep, was rooted in a transactional expectation. He believed that his devotion was a currency, and prosperity was its due return. However, fate seemed to have a different plan. One year, a merciless drought scorched his fields, turning the fertile land into a cracked desert. The next, a sudden flood washed away the meager harvest he had managed to save. His cattle, the pride of his farm, fell ill with an incurable disease. Despair began to take root in his heart, overshadowing his faith. "Why, Lord," he would cry out to the empty sky. "Why, despite my endless prayers, do you not answer me? Are my tears and my struggles not enough?" His frustration turned into a quiet resentment, a gnawing bitterness that made him question the very essence of his devotion. The belief that one could escape suffering through prayer was a heavy burden, and as his prayers went unanswered, the weight of that belief became unbearable. One evening, exhausted and defeated, Raghu heard of a wise sage who had taken up residence on the outskirts of a nearby forest. Driven by a desperate need for answers, he journeyed to the sage's hut. He poured out his heart, his voice trembling with emotion. "Revered sage," he began, "I have prayed to God for years to remove my hardships, but my prayers have been fruitless. I have lost my crops, my cattle, and my peace of mind. Why does God not listen?" The sage, a man with a serene face and eyes that held the wisdom of 1,000 lifetimes, listened patiently. A gentle smile touched his lips as Raghu finished his tale. "My son," the sage said, his voice as calm as a still lake, "you are asking the wrong question. One should not pray to God to be spared from suffering. Instead, one should pray for the strength to endure it and for the swift completion of one's karma. Do you not know that no one can escape the fruits of their actions? To be born is to be destined to experience the consequences of our past deeds, good and bad." The sage continued, "However, those who have deep faith and trust in the Lord will have their burden lightened. They will be liberated from the cycle of suffering much faster. God does not remove our karma. He gives us the courage to face it and the grace to overcome it. The path to freedom is not through escaping your destiny, but through accepting it with a heart full of devotion." The sage's words struck Raghu like a bolt of lightning, illuminating a truth he had never understood. The scales fell from his eyes, and he realized that his prayers had been selfish, focused on what he could get rather than on what he could give. He understood that his true path was not to avoid hardship, but to face it with unwavering faith. He returned home, a changed man. From that day forward, his prayers were different. He no longer pleaded for relief, but for resilience. "Oh Lord," he now prayed with a deep sense of humility, "grant me the strength to bear this hardship. Help me to complete my karma swiftly and with grace." He began to dedicate his time not just to his own welfare, but to the service of others. He helped his neighbors rebuild their homes after the floods, shared his meager food with the hungry, and tended to the sick animals of his fellow villagers. He started chanting the Lord's name with every breath, not as a ritual, but as a constant reminder of God's presence in his life. He found solace in the service, and the bitter resentment in his heart was replaced by a profound sense of purpose. Raghu's transformation did not go unnoticed. The villagers, who had seen his previous despair, were now astounded by his peaceful demeanor and his selfless acts of kindness. He no longer complained about his struggles, but embraced them as part of his spiritual journey. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, his life began to change. The rains, when they came, were gentle and nourishing, not destructive. The new crops he planted flourished, and his fields became a vibrant green. The new cattle he acquired remained healthy and strong. His life was not without challenges, But now he saw them not as punishments, but as opportunities for spiritual growth. He realized that true happiness was not the absence of problems, but the presence of an unshakable faith. His story became a beacon of hope for the entire village. He taught everyone that the Lord does not come to remove our struggles, but to give us the strength to face them. He became living proof that with sincere faith and selfless service, one could not only endure the fruits of their karma, but also find lasting peace and joy in the process. Raghu's life was a testament that true devotion is not about escaping the world's difficulties, but about navigating them with God as your constant guide.